Hi there, Joka here, and in this video I'm going to show you a few new products from Spellbinders. For example, these glitter sheets. They are foam sheets, so you can create dimensional things on your projects. And then there's this collection, the Glimmer, Essential Glimmer Solid shapes. And as you can see, there are 4 different shapes: this rectangle, a square, an oval, and a circle, which you can use for many different reasons or purposes. I am kind of, well, let's just say this is an experimental video because I did not want to use them for the intended purpose, which I'm gonna talk about in a little bit. As you can see, I messed that up. So since it was not important for me that it's perfect, I just put it back and foiled it again. So with these solids, you can actually use the negative things that you already foiled. So for example, sentiment you foiled, and then you have the negative, right? So you can put them on these solid shapes, and then you can use that piece of foil up as well, so there's no waste. But I don't actually, I did try it with sentiments, I think, in this video, but I don't have any glimmer plates, I think, that would create that effect. So I decided to try something else. I foiled a few of these pieces onto 3 different color cardstock, I think. And I am going to die cut some squares from them. You will see that soon. I had an idea. I just wanted to create some pattern background. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm loving the result, but yeah, you will see. And I'm also foiling some sentiments because these I really love. And this time I'm using some rose gold kind of foil. I never really foil on color cardstock, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to use for the cards today. So I just thought, while I have my Glimmer machine out, I do a few of these. I use this cardstock a lot, this Barely Peach, I think it's called. So, you know, it's always good to have something on hand. And this Pink Sand is another one that I use a lot. So I just created a few. Not all worked out. Some, I mean, I'm super impatient. So, you know, but I do have this, it's not an eraser, but you know, something that you remove glue with. And I realized that it also removes some of the excess foil. Not everything, but a lot of it you can actually fix. So that's what I use. You can see that it actually removes that. Well, that one on the left I'm not gonna be able to fix, but you know, and this on the right either, not all of it, but the ones in the middle are usable. So I mean, it's a hit and miss, but I think I still managed to foil more the right way than I emboss or stamp, if I'm honest. So I'm obsessed with foiled sentiments. So this is where I'm trying to show you. So this actually looks really great, right? The only thing I did not notice, I was in love with the result, but when I die cut it here, I noticed that the top of the foil was still on it, and once I removed that, it removed most of the foil. So that was not a good result. I don't know why I didn't notice that. It just, before it was die cut, you couldn't tell, and it looked so beautiful. It was totally perfect. But so I will have to play with that another time. This is an older die set. It was a kit, I think, die of the month. That would be the small die, right? So from 2020, and I haven't used it in ages. And I remember that it has these larger letters, so they will be perfect for using that foam, the glitter foam, I thought. And so for one of the cards, I'm die cutting this shape 3 times, and I'm going to layer those up. And so I decided to use this as a background. You can see that it's kind of distressed. I'm gonna come back to that. So for the other card, this is what I was talking about. I just wanted to die cut some squares where half of it is foiled and half is not. And I was planning to also use some of these glitter foam squares. This small square is actually a new product as well. One of the these mini shapes, and I mean it, you can see it die cut perfectly, but then it was just too much sparkle and glitter for me, so I did not use those. Here I'm just trying to figure out what I want. If I wanted to use some solid pink and solid peach color as well, but I don't know, I just didn't love it. And again, it was just too much foil for me. You know, I'm kind of used to only having a foiled sentiment. So I don't know. I don't hate it, but I decided to go for something else, a bit less. So that's what I'm doing now. I marked the middle here just so I could center my design. And as you can see, I die cut one of these mini what is it called again? Color block mini square, I think. So I only die cut it from one color, and then I assembled it on this backing piece, which I'm really happy about actually, because I made these kind of cards last couple of years as well, but the dies that I was using for them, they did not have a backing die, so I had to fussy cut those shapes out, all of them. So that was yeah, a lot of work. This one makes it so much easier, but here I'm only using 4 of them, and then I trim off the excess because as you can see, they are well, I cannot find the simplest words. Anyway, I have to trim off the excess. And now here I was kind of not planning with this. I have to use on the left and right, I have to turn those squares in a way that the foil is horizontal. Otherwise, it would be too much foil on those sides again. So because I have to trim off quite a bit, and then the other color would not be visible that much, and then I just didn't like that look, so I couldn't create the pattern that I actually wanted. So it's not kind of random, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna look all right. I think it's a bit random, but I kind of like this distressed look actually, but I'm sure with a little bit of practice one could make it look more perfect. But I think for my purposes today this worked out fine. And now I'm using the same love letters that come with the die set that I showed you earlier. And for the L and the O, I'm using the Barley Peach cardstock, and then for the V and the E, I'm using the pink sand cardstock. But I'm layering two die cuts together. The color of the second one is not important. I just had that on hand. That's why it's a different color, but it's not going to be visible. And then I'm adding some foam tape to it, just for some extra dimension. And I wasn't quite sure how to finish this card, to be honest. It's all a bit random. I don't think I've ever made a card similar to this one, but you'll be the judge if it's okay. Yeah, so I'm adding some foam tape, and I will also use this. These are also part of this die set, and normally you would be able to add some color to the big background die with these. These are shapes, the leaves and the hearts and the little flowers that are on the background die. But I did not use that on this card, only these little shapes. And I'm going to add the kind of tone on tone here. So I'll add some foiled flowers, and I'll add at the bottom around the V and the E, I'm adding pink die cuts, and at the top I'm adding the Barley Peach ones. I did not add the whole lot more to this card because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, but it's still very simple for what I normally would do. I kind of feel like there's some missing layers, you know. It's kind of flat, but there's a lot of texture going on. I mean, the letters are also kind of they have these embossed lines on the die, so that has a texture as well. Then the background has some texture. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I'm adding glue to the parts that are not on the, well, everywhere, but especially on the parts that are not on the foil, because this is not gonna, I mean, you know me, it's not gonna stick to the foil. Maybe temporarily, but if you want to, you can just pull that off for sure. And I'm gonna prove that in this video, although not with this glue, but I will show you what I mean soon. All right, so I'm just kind of trimming off some of these little leaves and then tuck them under the letters. And that now I'm just going to add some enamel dots, again for a different texture and color. So yeah, I don't have the color that's at the top, or maybe I do, but I was not, yeah, I did not look around. I just grabbed the first ones that I had. So I'm adding a light pink color there, which I think still fits. I like it. And then, yeah, I'm adding quite a few of these dots. They are never enough. And then I'm pushing them down with the back of my tweezers. And you can see there I accidentally added that dot on two different layers, so it did not stick. So I just removed it and positioned it in a different spot. And I'm adding some twine here, mostly to cover that at the top. I did not have die cuts, so it looked a bit odd. So I'm covering that up. And now what I'm doing, I'm die cutting from the foam sheet, and I added double-sided adhesive to it because I did try it with liquid glue. It does not stick. So yeah. Okay, so the next card, you can see this is very distressed. I did not perfect that square, but it doesn't matter because I think, well, in the end, it's gonna kind of be hidden. But I think it would look nice if, you know, if you just add this die cut and then all of that is peeking through. I really like the look, but I wanted to kind of step it up and add some other things to the card. But if you just want a simple card, I think it looks good. The only thing, again, you have to be careful with, or at least I want I want to be careful with this. You have to add glue to the parts that grab onto the paper, not the foil. I mean, obviously you can add there as well, but you will be able to peel that off. So paper on paper is the only way for me to attach things. So that's why I'm adding glue to the foliage. Because otherwise normally I think I wouldn't. And then I die cut these little hearts and flowers from pink cardstock to add a little bit of accent. And excuse me. And in the end I decided to die cut the letters from different things. The first one from a foiled back panel. That was actually perfect. And the other letters from 3 different glitter foam. And I am adding some cardstock as well, just for dimension. But the letters I also die cut from, so I backed the foam with double-sided adhesive, like I said before, just so that I was more secure, so to say. I'm sure that I could still peel it off, but it's still safer than liquid glue. So look at this now. Yeah, see? That is the glue pulling off the foil. And so I decided to remove all of the foil just so that I could be sure that my adhesive will stick onto the paper. And I actually really like the look. You know, it's kind of grungy. So I think that could be a technique that one could use on a project, maybe on mixed media project. I really like it, but I was going for something else, and so I finished it the way I planned it. So basically the solid square that I have in the background, I only have like peeking through from behind the die cut. So it's kind of hidden, but I think the whole shape would be too much for me. So I like it this way. And I am going to use this foiled sentiment that I really, really love. I love that it has a coordinating die, and so it's the shape of the sentiment. And I love the tone-on-tone look. So yeah, I'm adding 2 layers of foam adhesive here so that I can pop up that sentiment. And then I'm adding some enamel dots, and then this card is done as well. So yeah, it's kind of I guess these cards are kind of different from what I normally do, but sometimes I don't mind um, to try something else. And they don't always turn out to be my favorites, but you know, otherwise it might get boring if I always do the same thing. So, well, tell me what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you check out the other videos on the channel today as well. And I'm wishing you a really great day. Thank you. Bye bye.